Hi everyone, hope you're well. So we're also going to do practical activity 8.34. So just scroll down on the page 36 of the digital copy. And we need to open invoices, Excel, and then the test plan. So we go to downloads, source files. We need to find test plan and invoices, I believe. So they should open, otherwise let's double click on them. Enable editing, enable editing. Okay, so what we need to do, complete the test plan with at least 6 other tests. So just like we have done in the previous activity, you will have to test certain input data. So this is valid, so this would be normal values. So we will probably test another valid. We'll test something that's invalid, and now we can think of extreme values. Extreme, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need one more. We can maybe make 2 more valid options. So I'll just see if I can copy all of this downwards. There we go. So I'll just make that valid. So I would suggest take all of this, copy it for each of them. You don't want to retype anything when using Microsoft Office. Okay. And we want this maybe on a new page. So I just press Control and Enter to put in a page break. And let's see, so expected result, so this is probably the one that we want to see change the whole time. Okay, so these ones I will remove, delete cells. Okay, so now it looks nice and neat. So this one they have done for us. Okay, so the quantity for the product 3 on the invoice worksheet, so product 3, they make 36. Okay, this is valid. And the cost for the product on the invoice worksheet is 1,345. 1,345 euros. Okay, so they already put that in there for us. I'm just going to zoom in here. They already put that in there. Then the VAT rate on the data worksheet, so this worksheet is 20%. So this is valid, okay? So the product is 36, the price is 1,345, and then the VAT is 20%. These are valid types of test data. Then the expected result for the VAT on product 3 on the invoice worksheet is 9,686. Let's see what the actual VAT is. So I'm just going to copy, and I'm just going to say that, and then I'm just going to copy and paste. Okay, so the VAT rate for product 3 on invoice worksheet is exactly this. Okay, so we got what they wanted. So let's try something different. Let's put it for product 8, and we're gonna put maybe 21. The whole point of this is so that you kind of work like the computer would, to see if the logic of your formulas and your functions make sense. It's the whole point is for us to test the different datas. And let's make that 10%. So now I actually do have to go change all of that. So I'm going to make it 8. Okay. And now let's go change product 8. So we go to product 8, and we say there is 21 quantity. And the price we said is 1,200. I'm just going to copy that. I'm just going to paste it in here. Then I'm just going to say match destination formatting. Okay, so 1,200, and the VAT rate we change to 20%. No, 10%, sorry. So how we would work this out is we have the cost, we have the quantity, and we need 10% of that. So let's work it out. We need to be the computer now. So we have 21 times 1,200. So then we get 25,200, and then we need to get 10% of that. So we just multiply with 0.1. So we expect to get 2,520. So our expected thing would be 2,520. Let's see if we go on the Excel sheet what happens to our VAT. 2,520. And it makes sense because we've been working with valid things. So you go change your values over here to make this valid. So you have to go change everything in there. Then we have to try something that's invalid. So on product, let's say product 5, so I'm just going to change all the 5s, all the 3s into 5s. Let's say that the quantity is -5. Okay, so -5 for product 5, -5, and we can even keep the price as is, 500 euros, and the VAT we can make 10 again. What makes this invalid is this one over here, but we still expect to have a result. Okay, so our expected result is going to be the quantity times our invoice cost and 10% of that. So you can use the calculator. I'm going to use the calculator just for the video sake so it's easier to see, but it's -5 times 500 times 0.1. So our expected one should be -250 euro, which is not possible. Maybe in accounting it will be possible since we have credit there, but this the VAT can't be negative because that is value added tax, and the government is not going to give you money back for selling things. But anyway, so I might be wrong with that statement, I don't know. I never put in my actual value over here, but we basically got that. And then for this one, we actually did get this, so you'll see over here. Where is this? There. So we actually did get what we expected to get. Okay, so you just make random things, like let's say your cost was -5,000. So you can play around with those. So you do those, and then for extreme would be the very upper limit and the very lower limit. So the lowest that we can go with quantity would be 0. The lowest that you can go with money would be 0. The lowest tax that you can go is 0. So you can put in all these values as extremes, and then extremely high values, and it will still work, is 36, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's say that is the quantity. So I'm just going to copy that. So that's a very, very big number, and we just put it in there. So that just means there's not enough space, but you can see if I hover over it, it actually gives us the value. So it's not wrong, it's invalid because it's an extreme value. So this is 3.6 times 10 to the power 21. Okay? Yes. And this one is, okay, that's just a formula over there, so let's see if we can fit this in. So again, it's valid, but we won't necessarily do that. But this is just to test the logic of formulas, so it can always work. So now you would start thinking, how can I limit this? I can actually put in some data validation and say it cannot be more than 20,000. Okay, so we can put in it needs to be a whole number, and the maximum is 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that is not 20,000, but you get the idea. 20, 1, 2, 3. the minimum would be 0. Okay, so now if I update this, it should give us an error there and say it's too much, or yeah. So you can later on do that, but before you do that, this is part of the system's life cycle of planning your Excel sheets, that you actually plan how they would work and how the logic behind it works. But yeah, that's how you would do this. You'll do this whole sheet, you will just print out it as a PDF, and you can just rename it as, let's see what the assignment is called, test formulas and functions. Test formula and functions. So you can just save it as that.